Today on the Flash Traffic podcast, Trump makes a fake sanctions proposal to NATO. Russia ups their drone production. The U.S. Air Force sucks up to Belarus. Fake war bro podcasts and more. Okay, let's go.
Conflict, politics, military-industrial complex, technology, war. The Flash Traffic Podcast.
Them too.
But you as a parent must
I
tell
want them
yourself
to
that.
remember and acknowledge
And appreciate
my
it never happened,
contribution.
Nope, they're just bumbling through life. They expect it.
Nobody cares.
Nobody
All
cares.
right. Hey, let's start with Donald J. Trump because he's getting serious on Russia. He's had enough of this bullshit. Russia has been diddling around, not negotiating a settlement.
Diddling is an
anything.
interesting choice of words.
Thanks. But Trump has had enough, and now he's come out with this. And let me share this from the New York Times.
Is this from The Onion? Oh, the New York Times. Okay.
It might as well be. It might as
well be from The Onion.
From the New York Times this morning, quote, Trump says he will impose more sanctions on Russia if NATO does. End quote. So Trump is saying if all of NATO, all the NATO countries stop buying Russian gas and oil, then yeah,
he will too.
He'll put heavy sanctions on Russia. This is the final straw. I've had enough. Let's go.
I would like to say, but I've said it so many times. This highlights the absolute impotence of Trump. The Trump administration, soft on Russia, Russian sycophants, Putin fanboy, on the wrong side of history.
At least someone in his administration that gives him information beyond Twitter, at least somebody in his administration knows that there is no possible way that every NATO country is going to just give up Russian oil and gas. He knows that Hungary, Turkey,
Hungary and Slovakia.
There's no way. Slovakia, there's no way. There's no possible way that's going to happen. So this is now Trump is stalling.
It's a throwaway.
Yeah. Well,
it's a throwaway course of action. Right.
He's stalling for the Russians.
Stalling. Yeah, right. Well, he has been always. Yeah. He is a Putin puppet. The modern Republican Party are Putin Russian sympathizers. They've turned into that. They've evolved into it. Whoever would have thought that from a Reagan and the evil empire and Star Wars and watching the Soviet Union crumble, that GOP would now be Putin meat puppets. But they are. And you got to accept it. Not all Republicans. But obviously, a center of gravity of them are Putin meat puppets.
It doesn't surprise me. None of this surprises me. What is that quote? Let me try to dig up this quote from my memory.
It's a good one.
Countries do not have friends; they only have interests.
Oh, sounds
I can't remember
right.
the exact quote.
Yeah, right.
I can't remember the exact quote. I'm paraphrasing there, but look at World War II. I mean, Germany and Russia, the Soviet Union at the time, they were allied, and then suddenly the Soviet Union is on the side of the Allies. Like none of that shit matters. It doesn't matter.
We were allied.
Realpolitik.
Right. You nailed it. We were allied with them because we had to. Because Russia was the lesser of the evils. We saw Nazi Germany as more competent and more capable. And they might actually create or develop a nuclear weapon with what they had, right? Because then all the Germans from their nuclear and rocket programs became senior managers at NASA. Right, they developed our own nuclear weapons program. We thought they might
Operation
pull it off.
Paperclip.
Yep, they were more competent and more capable than the Russians were. The Russians were
Annie
eventually
Jacobson,
capable.
Operation Paperclip. Sorry,
I'm very familiar with it. It's on my book stand. So anyways, yeah, so yeah,
Mine
they
too.
were
Just
an
looked at it.
ally of convenience because they were less worse. They were disgusting, despicable regime, less so
Mhm.
than the Nazis. But we weren't we didn't ignore that. We accepted it. And then you had a guy like Patton where he's like, "Oh, that's cool. That's a cool story." So Germans are defeated. Now let's rearm the Germans, turn them around, and shoulder to shoulder, let's clean the Russians out of Europe. He's like, this is the time to do it now. You won't be able to do it later. And then,
He's exactly right.
And he was right. And then the theories abounded. The U.S. Assassinated him for that, for those views. And
Character-wise, of course.
No, physically, when they had a truck. What, have you not read this?
Yes, I've
have
heard.
You done any
I've heard
research?
of this conspiracy theory.
So the theory
I've heard of this conspiracy
so
theory.
we're putting this theory out there, right?
Okay.
That they ran a truck into Patton's Jeep, which did happen, and he did subsequently die from it. But theories are throwing it out there that we executed him, killed him, offed him, got rid of him because he wanted to continue World War II. Just not in the format that we had been doing.
A complete conspiracy theory. Just
for sure it is.
We have to note that.
For sure it is.
Let's go back to this. Let's go back to this this brilliance.
Let's go back to safer waters where you're more comfortable. Let's do that.
That's funny. Let's go back to the brilliant plan that Trump has. I
didn't know he imposed any
NATO.
sanctions on Russia.
Look, this is what he says. Quote from the article. Quote, I am ready to do major sanctions on Russia.
No, he isn't.
When all NATO nations have agreed and started to do the same thing. And when all NATO nations stop buying oil from Russia, end quote. Okay. Yeah. Of course, that would be great for America. Where are you going to get your oil and gas? Maybe the United States of America. That would be great. Another win for us. We're just milking Europe.
Correct.
We're just milking them. Buy our gas, buy our oil, buy our arms and weapons.
Right.
And you can do whatever you want with them. You can give them to Ukraine. We don't care. Just buy our stuff. Buy our internet, buy our Twitter, buy our artificial intelligence.
So this makes me think, and this probably isn't far off, and there's probably a million people saying, yeah, no shit, Lion. This is all based on a personal beef that Trump has with Zelensky. Just like whatever nonsense is going on in Venezuela is a personal beef between Trump and Maduro. Trump has personal beefs, not based on intelligent foreign policy, not based on the best interests of the United States, personal beefs. Because, so to make that argument, where obviously at the baseline, Trump and his administration are embarrassingly weak on Russia and Putin and glad handing a mass murdering asshat. They will sell every weapon we have to Europe. Like, hey, Europe, you want to buy it? You want to buy 100 HIMARS? There you go. You want 100 Patriots? You got it. You want more tanks? Yeah. Hey, the arsenal of democracy is open for sale. We're selling it. We're not giving it away. We're selling it. So the U.S. is still the arsenal of European democracy, but you're going to pay for it. He's willing to do that all day. He's willing to make a buck off of European security all day. There's no restrictions on arms sales to Europe. We are selling it to them in vast numbers, and go ahead and give it to Ukraine. But the argument could be made because of his personal beef with Zelensky. He can't stand to give anything to them directly. He's got to sell it to somebody else. I want to deal with them. Germany, you buy it, you give it to him. I don't give a shit.
And he's going to pressure Europe. He's going to put as much pressure on Europe as he possibly can, because why wouldn't he? In the article, he called for countries to put tariffs of 50 to 100% on China. On China.
That's
European countries will never do that.
We're not. We haven't done that.
If you've walked through any airport in Europe lately in the last couple of years, you will see gigantic billboards And this is, I've seen this in multiple airports in Germany, like all over the place. If you walk through those airports, you will see gigantic billboards for Huawei cell phones made in China.
Good product.
China that are just as good as your iPhone
Oh, of course
17.
they are. Of course they are.
And they cost 1/3 as much. Who would not want to have an iPhone 17? Did I say 13 or 17?
Doesn't matter.
Whatever.
I don't have an iPhone. I use Samsung products.
Oh,
good American
wow.
Samsung products.
That's why I never text you unless it's on WhatsApp, because I can't stand looking at that embarrassing green bubble. You have the Samsung green bubble. You're a non-iPhone guy. I hate seeing that. Why don't you just get an iPhone? Can you just get an iPhone, please?
No, I buy good American Samsung products.
From South Korea.
Elijah Samsung, one of the founders of the U.S. during the Revolutionary War, I buy his products.
Apple iPhone is about as American as you can get. We made it here, we designed it here, we invented it here, and then we send it off to a poor foreign country to build it and get all those nasty chemicals and byproducts of the production. That's as American as you can get. And then we send it back to America and sell it for like 5 times what it costs us to make it to Americans. That's American. Fuck yeah. Anyways, they're not going to do it. They're not going to impose tariffs on China because, they like their cheap Huawei cell phone that does as much as your iPhone 17. So why would they? This is ridiculous. Trump, this is a straw man.
Yes,
Trump has presented NATO
100%.
with a giant straw man acting like he's going to do something. He is not. He is, I'm sorry, what's Trump? What you always say? What's the term you always say? As far as testicles and cuddling them, he's a giant.
I don't know where you're going with
nut
this.
Hugger.
All I said is he had small hands.
Nut hugger. He's a nut hugger.
Politically, he has small hands.
He's a Kremlin nut hugger.
So he's throwing out a smoke screen.
Hold on, this is important because he's got little tiny hands. So he probably has to hug one nut with both hands. He can't.
You may be taking this analogy too far. Hey, traffickers.
Okay.
I am recognizing now that Dr. Tingle has gone slightly off the rails and he's taken the analogy too far. So I'm just doing a public service announcement.
I have. It's a good analogy.
Voice of reason.
I just wanted to run with it. It's a clarifying analogy.
Correct.
Yes.
Also, he wants the gullible American public to fall for this. Oh, well, look what he said. He said he would do it. You just got to do this. The average dude who's got a lot of problems and just does sound bites.
Not going to read further into that than all they're going to read into that is Trump said, let's get hard on Russia, but you guys have to get hard on Russia too. That seems fair on the surface.
On the surface, it's all nonsense.
If you dig 1 centimeter deeper, you're going to realize, this is all bullshit.
And everything Trump is telling you is bullshit. Yes. And he's a Putin sycophant.
He's a Putin dick hugger.
So there it is.
Okay. Well, also speaking, let me show you this. Also speaking of Putin nut huggers, what is up with this? Let me find the headline here so I can show it. This is from the Kyiv Independent. And the title of this article is, quote, "We will show you whatever you want. U.S. observers attend Russia-Belarus Zapad 2025 drills." So we have American observers that went over to Belarus to observe the Russian-Belarusian exercise called Zapad 2025. Okay. What the fuck? Why? Look at these guys.
So let's bring this topic up. This is a long-standing, centuries-long tradition. When there's wars going on or not, or exercises, whatever, it is common to send observers. See, I think that dude with the baseball hat, he's an Air Force dude. Mm-hmm. Army doesn't wear ball caps. I wish we had. Mm-hmm. That dude's
Patrol
wearing.
cap.
That guy on the right is wearing an idiotic patrol cap, which I hate. I think the Army's got the worst goddamn headgear. But anyways, that's neither here nor there.
These are both this apparently from the Twitter idiot universe. These are the observers that we sent to Belarus to observe the Zapad.
Right.
Both lieutenant colonels, both in the Air Force, because this guy looks like an Army uniform on the right here,
but he's not.
But he's actually in the Air Force. It says it on his above his left breast.
Okay.
Yeah, it says
so
US
two Air Force dudes.
So these,
So this is common. So like Franco-Prussian War, the U.S. military sends observers, hang out on each side, see what's going on, new tactics, strategy, common. Europeans sent observers to the U.S. in the Civil War, where they check out the U.S. Civil War. You're looking at cavalry, mass use of cannon, Gettysburg, right? They're watching all this crazy shit go down. It's common to send observers to other sides.
It's prudent.
Right, so you're there to learn.
It makes tons of sense.
So these two guys, these two fine young Air Force officers, are intelligence collectors. They're OSINT, open source intelligence collectors. They're going to see whatever they're going to see. They're going to bring back to the U.S. and tell the U.S. whatever they learned from this. I'm going to guess, I'm going to go on a limb on this. This is probably pretty underwhelming what they're going to see. This is probably like going to the equivalent militarily of like a Boy Scout jamboree. You're probably not going to be that impressed with what the Russians have and what they could do. I already saw a video of like the Russians flying a air portable BMD whatever into, for the VDV in the back of their plane. That could be taken out by an AT-4 from every angle. Okay, yeah. You fly away your cheap, paper thin armored. Yeah, now that I look at this guy, that's an Air Force guy. Yeah.
Just look at him. Seriously, look at these guys.
They're Air Force.
But look, they probably picked, we need to send somebody to Belarus, and they picked two Air Force linguists that could actually speak Russian. Okay, these guys are in the right place at the right time. They have no impact on history whatsoever.
Why is this dude on the dress dressed cool, like he's a gangsta? He's got the ball cap. He's got the collar. He looks like he's got
the Air Force.
He's got like a windproof jacket.
Dude,
and then
that's the Air Force.
The Niedermeyer
you're never gonna look.
Doesn't have a cool jacket or hat.
Go to any Air Force base in anywhere in the world, and you will never find two Air Force NCOs, officers enlisted that are dressed the same. You will never find two individuals on that entire air base that have the same uniform on.
Because they're not as disciplined as the Space Force.
Because they're a bunch of shitheads.
I do not support that. I do not agree with that.
Look, you'll okay.
But the Space Force is good.
Oh, Space Force is a bunch of shitheads.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, I take back the Air Force thing. I was just kidding.
You're hurting feelings today.
One guy will have a flight suit on. The other guy will have the exact same flight suit on, looking really good, but he'll have an ascot for God knows what reason.
Oh, that's good. He's trying to pick up chicks.
And then they'll have, 20 different versions of battle dress, camouflage. And then somebody will be wearing dress blues for no apparent reason, and they'll all be in the same staff meeting. So you'll have a staff meeting where there's literally 20 people. They're all wearing a different uniform. It's amazing.
Makes me think of the German army in World War II. Like you watch these cats. I don't know how many uniforms they had, how many versions of dress, semi-dress. Like dudes are like rocking stuff. Yeah. Like, why aren't you wearing that, dude? How come you got that hat? Yeah. You got that jacket? You got that pants? You're like, there's a lot of variety in militaries to wear shit. You don't even want to talk about soft stuff. Yeah. You don't want to talk about special operations.
You guys don't have any. There's no uniform at all.
Motherfuckers are wearing shit. You're like that. I don't think you're wearing a uniform right now, dude. I see camouflage. I can't identify what you have on this uniform.
But they all get issued the desert scarf thing, right? Don't you get that issued so you can wear your cool scarf?
So that
in
might
the
be like
desert?
Space Force shit that you guys do,
That's the
but that's made up.
That special forces equivalent of an escort is that desert scarf. That's your escort.
Ascot.
Ascot. Sorry. Yes. Ascot.
ASSCOT.
Yeah. So
Ascot.
you're right. The U.S. Air Force is, the U.S. equivalent of the Gestapo. Is that what you're saying, basically? Because I would agree.
So
with
traffickers, Dr.
Gestapo.
Tingle has gone off the rails into the realm
I
of
don't know
ass
why I'm on a
clownery.
big-
Again,
Okay.
he must have taken
Sorry.
Benadryl or some shit. He's on
I'm
cough
just
medicine.
on the Air Force.
He's
I'm
all
on an Air Force
fucked up
kick today.
Well, it's
Do
because
not
you
get
got
me
beef.
started on the Space Force.
Because you got beef with them because you were in Space Force. And you've alluded to
I
our
was
listeners
never in Space Force.
many
Don't
times
get me
that
started
you were
on
an astronaut.
U.S. Space Force.
You've done that shit, dude, and you got beef with the Air Force.
Oh, we will talk about some kind of stolen valor at the end of this podcast because I have a clip I want to show. But I was never in the Space Force. I was never an astronaut. You always say that, and I never said that.
You allude that you have
I don't allude at all. The closest I've ever come to alluding that I was in Space Force is how much I hate Space Force. I don't
you'll
know how
talk
that helps
shit
your
about
argument.
how aerodynamics don't matter in space because there's no atmosphere. Like you say shit like that, and we know what you mean.
That just seems intuitive. Like most people should say that.
Okay,
Okay,
you were a space officer.
Let's get off Trump.
You were a space officer.
I was an Army space, a functional Area 40 space.
In other words, an astronaut for the layman. For the layman, astronaut.
That's not true at all. Not even close. Okay, let's look at this. Let's talk about the drone war for a little bit, because it's a big deal as of late. Because we had drones. We had 19 drones last week fly into Poland.
I know those are now. Those are, I think, Gerbera drones. Yes. Probably not pronouncing that properly.
They're the fake styrofoam ones.
Right, they're the plywood and styrofoam, Gerbera dummy drones
and spray
that
foam.
look like a Shahed.
Yeah.
But they can do reconnaissance. I've read that they do have small explosives in it. So they're trying to fake you the whole time, but it's like a couple pounds of explosives. They're trying to deceive you the whole time that you should be spending expensive stuff on this.
And those drones cost $10,000. And a Patriot missile costs like $1 million.
I can't believe you got the price right. Correct. It is quoted as being about $10K to make the Gerbera drone. Well, you actually did your homework for once. That's good.
Have you seen the flash traffic icon? Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, is it the Gerbera?
No, it's a quadcopter attacking a tank. I'm sure you've seen it.
What's that got to do with the Gerbera dummy drone?
I have no idea.
Okay, anyways.
Look, last week, 19 drones flew into Poland. I think they shot down 4 with F-16s from the Netherlands. No, F-35s, sorry. And then another handful of them crashed on their own. Apparently, this weekend, there was a drone that flew into Romania, a Russian drone.
The frontline European states are being exposed as unprepared for a cheap styrofoam dummy drone. You can't detect it. You can't stop it. You can't do shit. What happens when a non-state actor does the same thing, and this time it's real? And your head is so far up your ass. Well, how did that fly into the Parliament building? The largest drone war in the history of mankind is going on your front doorstep for 4 years, and you're unprepared at even the basic level to defend your airspace. In a graduated, cheap, inexpensive, intelligent manner, just be aware of what's going on around you. What happens when a non-state actor hits you with something real? And you're just going to sit there with a dumb look on your face? Well, that's a Ukraine problem. Durr!
Well,
this is embarrassing for them.
The title of this article, and I will put these articles in the show notes, and if it's New York Times, I will put them as gift articles so you can actually read them without going through the firewall.
That's nice
for
of you.
free. Yes, you're welcome. The title of this article from the New York Times this morning, quote, Russia made drone production a supreme priority.
They have.
Now it swarms the skies. End
They
quote.
have.
Kind of dramatic, a little
True.
dramatic.
It's true.
But they have. So the first weekend of this month, we saw Russia attack Ukraine with 810 Shaheds in one night, which was a record. Do you remember like 3 years ago when there was like 5 Shahed attacks a day?
Right.
Remember
so,
that? When they're like,
yes.
oh, they attacked Kyiv with Shaheds.
So
There were
Russia
like 3 of them.
has a Geran 2, maybe not pronouncing that correct, Geran 2, Geran 2 drones, which are Shahed knockoffs. Iran has allowed them to produce their own version of it in-house in Russia. They have a manufacturing plant in the Alabuga Special Economic Zone. Probably not pronounced that correctly. About 1,100 kilometers, 700 miles from Kharkiv. Now, Ukraine tried to attack the manufacturing plant once. Didn't work. Russians shot them down. Not sure what type of drone they used. Probably the ridiculous Fox Bat Cessna with the windows painted out. That shit's probably not going to get there. Ukraine must target their manufacturing plants, period. You can't, you're an idiot trying to defend 800 drones a night. Statistically, I saw a report, 12.5% of Geran 2s get through now. 12.5% in total are going to hit something.
It's probably higher than that. I mean, we're going off Ukrainian published numbers.
According to the article, it's, I don't know, probably better than whatever you're about to pull out of your ass. So they said the Ukrainians shot down. Yeah, that's right. I just went there. Deal with it. That just happened. That just fucking happened, bro.
Okay.
So they said 52% are shot down by the Ukrainians. A large part are lost locally. Some takeoff problem, navigation problem.
Sure.
EW gets some. From the study, they said
EW gets a lot.
Yeah, they're talking thousands of data points. They said, from what they can calculate, 12.5% get through. Just throwing it out there. Data's data. Do whatever you want with it.
So far this year, Russia has sent over 34,000 attack drones and decoys into Ukraine. So far this year. And we're only a little bit over halfway through. They think that Russia is now capable of producing 30,000 attack drones per year. And that number could double next year to 60,000 drones a year. How much is that a day? Like just under 2,000 a day, maybe? I wish we could do the math. We don't have the computing process power to do that.
164 a day.
160,000 divided by 365?
Correct.
Is 164 a day.
Correct.
That's a lot less than I thought. So they could save it
Correct. It is exactly that. It is 164 times 365 is 60,000. Correct.
Okay. So save them up. Do it once a week. 7 times 165.
But this shows you the failed
Can't do that math either.
Ukrainian response and the failed European response. Deep strikes must occur. You must hit their manufacturing plants. You need to wake the fuck up. Hey, Europe, you don't like the Geran dummy drones flying into your airspace like Poland and Romania? Why don't you get your act together and get long strike munitions and cruise missiles into Ukraine to hit these factories? And this is where I'm going to go back to it again. You are dead wrong to think you can protect your rice bowl. You're dead wrong if you're a Lithuania, Estonia. I'm not saying they think that. Some do. Or a Germany. I'm just going to protect my little bubble. I'm just going to protect my borders and everything will be good. No, you don't fucking get it. You never got it. You still don't fucking get it. Defeat Russia in the field, in combat. That's your number one security. Part of that is getting the long-range strike capability to blow up and target these manufacturing plants. So you can't send 19 dummy drones across the border in Poland because the manufacturing plant is under reconstruction, or you blew up their assembly line. This isn't deep conceptually, but if you think you can defend your rice bowl and you're going to be okay, you cannot. Ukraine is your instrument to destroy the Russian military capability. Get off your ass and do it. I'm done.
I imagine these factories are relatively easy to pick out. I imagine
they
that
know
the
where they
Ukrainians
are.
know where they are.
They hit the Jiren 2 factory because they know exactly where it is. But you know what? You actually have the capability to hit it. And they're probably using the old Cessna drone, which is the easiest thing to shoot down. And apparently the Russians got enough air defense to do it. You got to hit that thing with 10 different cruise missiles.
Flamingo.
At 1 in the morning. Yeah. Okay, so Flamingo, show me the beef. How many you make in a day?
Yeah.
How many you launch in a day? Why aren't you hitting their manufacturing plants? Because Ukraine's Bayraktar manufacturing plant in Kyiv has been hit 4 times by the Russians. So Russians are doing it. That also shows me Kyiv, you're incapable of defending your own drone manufacturing. How the hell can Russia's Jiren 2s strike your own manufacturing plant? How's that thing not ringed with like Rheinmetall Skynex 30 millimeter automatic cannons and Gepards? Why aren't you protecting your factory? Ukraine's got a lot of work to do, a lot of improvements to do. You got to improve your strategic targeting.
Well, as Mike Kaufman, the Russian war, he's not a Russian war analyst, but he analyzes the war against Ukraine.
He does good work.
As he pointed out, this is a very common statement that strategic bombing will not win this war. We've seen that throughout history, right? It's just a nuisance to the population.
Blowing up your only drone plant will stop drone manufacturing. I'll tell you that.
Right. That being said, that when you have 800 or 1,000 drones, and I was speaking to some people in Kyiv this morning, they said that, look, when you have 800 or 1,000 drones flying around at one time, you can't do anything. Like normally, if there's Trevoha, which is an air alert, you can actually do stuff. Not everybody goes down into the metro, the bomb shelters. But when there's that many drones flying around, you're just incapacitated. You can't do anything. You have to stay home. You have to stay in the basement. So it is going to be a problem if they continue to send this number of drones. Also, the other thing that they said was right now it's not a big deal, because if they hit infrastructure, they affect some of the power. It's still nice weather, but a month from now it's going to start getting cold, and this is going to again start impacting Ukrainians' lives.
Right, for the fourth cycle,
their ability to survive. Right.
Yeah, they've done it before. They'll get through it again.
I hope so.
It's the 4th iteration. They got through the 3 cold weather iterations. Here's the 4th one. They'll do it. They'll figure it out. Humans are adaptable. Long range strikes. I don't want to see any more fucking videos of the Flamingo and you can only make 1 a month. That's irrelevant. That doesn't matter. You need to make 10 a day and launch 10 a day. Deep strikes on critical targets. Ukraine's not doing that. It's not good enough.
Well, Ukraine's great at making a big hoopla about, something that they just developed. But it's one thing to invent something. It's another thing to mass produce it. The production line is an invention all its own. How many Iron Man suits do we have? Well, we just had one when he was in the cave. When he was in the cave making that Iron Man suit, we only had one until he got out of the cave, wherever, some stand. Going back to the original movie. Let's talk about Pokrovsk.
Decent movie. Iron Man series, decent movie.
That's all right. Let's talk about Pokrovsk.
Yeah, John Wick is cool too.
Did you want to talk about Pokrovsk? What's going on in Pokrovsk? Looks like they're still fighting. Okay. They were supposed to move. The Russians were supposed to move a bunch of brigades down south to attack Pokrovsk, to encircle the city. Doesn't look like that's happened yet. Doesn't quite look like that's going to happen for a while, maybe.
So I would like the traffickers to respond and give their opinion on this. There's a lot of stuff going on in the Twitter idiotverse of what's going on in Pokrovsk and the front lines in general. So let's address one thing. Every year there's a summer offensive. It's after the springtime. The mud is dried out. You can drive across farmers' fields and dirt roads, and your tanks don't get stuck. The usual summer offensive, shtick. And this year, the summer offensive is going to be massive and horrible. The Russians are done messing around. They're taking Donetsk, Donbass, all of it. Where's the summer offensive, bro? Literally, where is it? Everyone in the world talked about it for months, of the summer offensive and this and that. It seems like the high point of the summer offensive were some infiltration guys getting through north of Pokrovsk and getting into the gray zone where Ukraine counterattacked. Was that the height of the summer offensive? Is that what we're seeing? We're not in the summertime anymore. Now we're entering fall. So where's the summer offensive? Where'd it go? Where'd all the Russian manpower go? And the massive crushing offensive, we never saw it. We saw it as business as usual. There was no summer offensive, other than just a continual offensive of action, which Russia does every day. As far as I can tell, nothing was distinguished from anything else. There's also reporting for weeks now of Russia's climbing through an empty gas pipe to infiltrate and get into Ukrainian territory. My answer is that: drop a couple JDAMs on the mofo, collapse it, have a nice day. Why are we even talking about this? So, yeah. But now the fall offensive. Again, out on the internet, Russians have been husbanding thousands of armored vehicles and thousands of tanks. And they have more production than you guessed, and you got it wrong. And there's going to massive, and they're moving divisions. The divisions are going to do a huge fall offensive, the last one. This spread like wildfire. Okay, we're halfway through September. Where is it? Already, you still see Russian tanks and armored vehicles getting attrited. Watch the UAV, FPV drone videos. Every day, watch them. Russia's already losing more tanks and armored vehicles, artillery a day in drips and drabs than they can sustain. Their manufacturing base can't even sustain that. I'm seeing tons of videos of artillery getting blown up. Towed D-30, D-20 junk, towed artillery, SPGs getting hit. Their artillery continues to get attrited at a rate that they can't maintain. So Russia is also doing infiltrating with people in onesies, just one dude by himself, just walking. That's how they're doing it. And they coagulate when they get to an area. They're doing that with armored vehicles too. 1, 2, or 3 at a time. Oh, yeah, because you can hide them, right? Because you can hide them in an open field. They're already losing these drips and drabs of armor that they already can't maintain. Where is the massive offensive that everyone's been talking about for months? I don't see it.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's coming, or it's coming late, or it's coming in pieces.
How late can it come?
Probably
when
not
did the
much
fall
after.
Rains?
We talked
when
about
did the
this.
fall? When did the fall rains come?
Probably November.
Okay.
Let's say November.
So they got a month and a half?
Yeah. I mean,
before everything's just mired in mud again? So you got 6 weeks.
Yeah, they could do some damage.
Yeah. What offensive?
Here's an article, and I'll post this in the show notes. It's from the Euromaidan press. It's a recent article, last couple of days, and it talks about what's going on in the tactical picture near Pokrovsk. They say that the Dopopilia minor tactical breakthrough that the Russians had last month.
And it was a minor tactical breakthrough. Yeah, they were successful.
They say it's coming to a close, and Ukraine is pinching it off. So that salient is closing fast, and Ukraine's doing a good job of killing a bunch of Russians in there, shutting it down, and we'll be waiting for that summer offensive that still hasn't really come.
That was a summer offensive. That was
It might have
the
been.
manifestation on a battlefield of the Russian all-out offensive, was some infiltration groups getting through, counterattacked, probably sealed off and wiped out. That was it. Summer's over. That is a
Yeah.
fact. That was in
You-
fact the summer offensive, and now summer's
you
over.
have to be nimble as an army to take advantage of breakthroughs like that. And the Russian army is not a nimble,
Neither
force.
side can. You can't have a gray zone 10 clicks deep from the zero line and be nimble. You can't hide anything. Vehicles can't survive on the zero line. That's why I laugh. I want to be proven wrong, and I'm okay being wrong. And that's why I'm usually never wrong, because I'm always willing to change my opinion. That there's thousands of armored vehicles and
That's a
tanks.
good technique.
Thank you, sir. Being hidden and holding in stock to make an attack. What? So they can drive down one dirt road at about lunchtime, and we can see you 20 clicks back, and the fiber optic drones are hitting you 20 clicks out. Like, that's your attack? Everyone get in a line. We're going to drive straight forward, right down to the cross front line. And sir, don't the drones going to see us? Don't they have minefields, HIMARS, 155, javelins? Isn't all that shit just going to jump on us again?
It doesn't matter.
Shut up and do what I told you to do.
You've been told to go to this place on the map.
You don't get paid to think.
As fast as you can, just go there.
I get paid to think. I told you to move forward. Okay. But we haven't seen that either.
Let's finish on this. Speaking of mindless jackasses that don't think, I came across this.
I don't like you attacking me like that.
I came
That's
across
a microaggression.
this video.
I take that as a microaggression.
And just, I don't know what to say. Can we just play this? This is like an excerpt from a long podcast. Apparently, it's called The Boys. These individuals have a YouTube channel that has 6 million subscribers.
They gotta be saying crazy shit.
Yeah, they're complete morons. Apparently, one of them was in the army, probably like a PFC or a private. Got out after 2 years or whatever.
And he's doing better than both of us combined.
He sounds like a complete jackass. But let's just watch this. I'm just gonna.
We attract intellectuals. They do not.
If you want to tell yourself that. Okay, let's watch this guy talk about the Javelin missile.
Once you lock on with a javelin missile, you have a minute to fire or it goes kaboom. Me thinking everybody else in the unit knew that, I was like, I get up there, I set up, my NCO says 12 o'clock, but he doesn't give me meters. I see a heat signature, and I'm like, Sergeant, I got a target in front of me. He goes like, perfect. I lock onto it, and I'm waiting. 20 seconds go by. 30 seconds. Hey, Sarge, y'all know I have a minute to fire this or it blows up, right? And he goes, White one, this is, and I just hear panic. Fire the and I'm like, okay. I fire it. The missile leaves a tube, slowly drops. Nothing happens, and then ignites. Way off in the distance, we see my NCO said, I was telling you to aim for the one that's 300 meters in front of us. We all go back to the big briefing room, and I see a 2-star general. So which one of you shot that javelin? I stand up, and I go, that was me, sir. It was all me. You know, you just set a new base record with that shit. And I'm like, what? So what had happened with that target, it was for mortars. So I set a new base record at 4,500 meters.
Okay, I don't know where to start with the amount of shit that this guy is full of. First of all, the Javelin missile does not explode after 1 minute of locking on.
So he was trying to say that it would just like blow up in his face?
That's what he was inferring, yes. That
you are
if you don't
moron.
Fire,
he's
clearly a moron.
You're a fucking moron.
He's clearly a moron. He might be a liar and a moron.
Or he might think it's true.
Or he might just be really, really stupid, which is very possible.
He might think it's true.
The Javelin does not blow up in your face. Who in the fuck would invent anything like that? No one would ever invent any item. No, they would not. No,
the Russians would.
If you believe that,
like, there's videos of like jackasses with RPGs like firing the ship backwards.
What is your?
Yeah, this guy, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Well, the Germans have a word. I think it's Weltanschauung. Your worldview. Like, where are you coming from? Where you believe that an item actually exists in our universe? That if you don't fire it in 1 minute, it just blows up. Because why wouldn't it? It just blows up. That's not the case. If you lock onto a target and you don't fire it in a minute, it just shuts down. It just goes back to its resting mode. It doesn't blow up and kill you. Why would you have that? And so he also says he shot out 2.7 miles, right, at a target that was supposed to be set up for the mortars, but he got a heat signature. So they put a heat signature for the mortars. What? That doesn't make any sense either. I get it for the javelin targets. Why would you have a heat signature on a mortar target? That seems suspicious, but he might just be wrong, right? He's clearly dumb. He might have some learning disabilities, whatever. And then my favorite part is they get on the mic and they go back and they call to white 1. And we know if your call sign is white 1 in a unit, then you're the personnel officer. So he's calling back to the personnel officer to get guidance on, hurry, we have to fire this missile. And it all seems suspicious.
And then the 2-star general congratulates the private on job well done. Because
the 2-star general comes to this low-level debriefing on this bullshit. Again, I call bullshit on that.
So you would have a platoon
There's so much
leader
bullshit.
who's a lieutenant. You'd have a company commander who's a captain. You have a battalion commander who's a lieutenant colonel. You got a brigade commander who's a colonel. You got like assistant division commanders, like division commander for supply, division commander for operations, who are 1-stars. Then you got the division commander, the 2-star.
We call them maneuver guys.
Yeah. And then the 2-star is going to say, "Yo, bro, good job, bro, on hitting the mortar target." Okay, maybe in a world I don't know.
You just set a new range record for the javelin. What?
Maybe he gets a challenge coin or something. I don't know.
Shut up. None of the. Okay, look, I get it. These guys are entertainers. They're not military analysts.
And experts like us.
They say whatever stupid shit comes to their mind, like us. We say some stupid shit. But this just rubs me the wrong way when this guy, talks like a army bro. Like, okay, this guy was like a PFC E3, shot a javelin once. Maybe I'm not even sure this guy ever shot a javelin now at this point. He seems like a complete liar, full of shit. The Boys, 6 million views. Watch it on YouTube.
It's entertainment for young bros.
Garbage. Yeah.
Huh.
Okay, got it. Hey, let's close on this video because I like to end on a video. This is simply Ukrainian fiber optic drone. Let's watch this thing because
is this flying through the garage?
I'm giving a lecture next week on Fort Carson to some Army guys about how to stay alive in Ukraine. And I'm going to show them this.
Is that going to be like, don't go there?
That's how to stay alive in Ukraine.
Don't
First
go
of
there.
all, step 1, don't go there. Basically, how to stay alive on the modern battlefield from the perspective of Ukraine.
Harder and harder. Hard to stay alive on the battlefield.
I'm doing this video. Let's watch it.
Going down the garage.
All the way in. You think you're safe because you're indoors?
Then he turns around.
50 meters indoors and goodbye.
And that's classic. A good drone operator. That guy's flying indoor. That guy's a pro drone operator. Look at this.
Yeah. Look, we have not discussed
that's
this
an artillery
component.
Piece. Like, how much do you have to disguise that? Like, I couldn't camouflage that any better.
You can't.
You have to like put like a dump truck
right?
of
That's
leaves
the problem.
Over it. How much you can't camouflage that anymore?
You can't do any better than that from a just
I didn't even know what we were looking
perspective.
At. I thought we were looking at Minecraft or something. Like, what is this thing? Like, oh, that's the artillery piece.
You can't. You can't do any better than that. You just can't. The Ukrainians have dummy artillery pieces that have heat signatures at the muzzle. That at night they run it off a battery. During the daytime they use solar panels.
That's clever.
To make it look like this is for thermal.
That's clever.
Holy shit! Look how clean that was. And look how stupid the Russians are. They didn't put you got to put something over the entrance. They thought because they were 50 meters down whatever that thing was, a Soviet era bunker. I don't know what that was. They thought, oh, a drone can't fly in here, right? It's 50 meters into the thing. Wrong.
And that shows you the
fiber
utility
in your face
of the cheap drone. Artillery wasn't going to get that, because you just don't know what's inside it. Javelin wasn't going to get it. This is such a precision tool that whatever the opening is of the size of the drone, it's flying in, dude. If you got a hole that big, it's flying in. It's getting in. You got to protect everything. It's got to be airtight.
And fiber optic drones only make up 20% of the battlefield right now. But god damn, they're effective. The video is crystal clear because you don't have any radio signal. And here's an observation that no one ever talks about. I've never read this. I think this to be true. I could be completely wrong though. Because you don't have that radio signal, I believe fiber optic drones are also easier to fly than their usual FPV drone. Because you're controlling it with radio. Yes. You're high bandwidth. You're connected right to that little drone all the time. It never breaks up. It can, move at the speed of light, your controls. So yeah, I think they're easier to control and smoother to fly.
Battlefield is scary. You can't hide anywhere. You got to be underground,
can't run,
completely enclosed. You can't let a thing fly down down your stairwell and through your door. You should know this already.
Yeah, how do you not know that?
How do you not know this?
How are you in Ukraine?
But dude, it's just like all the Russian tankies leaving their hatches open after they leave their tank. So a dude can drop a 10-cent hand grenade down it. And you know what? I've been looking at all these pictures. You can't
explain some of this shit. Yeah.
I'm looking at Russian tanks in storage and all these different storage facilities in Russia. Guess how they store them? All their fucking tank hatches are open. So for 20 years, it can rain inside the fucking tank? And you wonder why you see thousands of tanks on satellite imagery, yet they haven't moved in 4 years? Because they can't be used.
Comrade, I don't get paid to go around and shut tank hatches. I get paid to sit in this guard shack here drinking this vodka.
Imagine all winter, 10 feet of snow, snowing inside your tank through all these hatches. Then it melts and floods it. Do that for 2 decades. Hey, we need to take the tanks out of storage and get them going. Yeah, you're not, dude. It's all rusted. Shit's rusted out. Everything's gone. You got to strip this to the frame, dude. They don't give a shit.
That's Russia. They don't give a shit. Nobody gives a shit about anything. Just go to the point on the map that I told you.
I told you to.
That's
shut
all
up.
You have to do.
Shut up and walk. But I won't live.
Keep walking.
Give a shit if you don't live.
Who cares?
Who cares?
Nobody cares. I don't get paid to make sure you live. I get paid to sit in this command post and drink this vodka.
And you don't like it? Yeah, send a video to Putin because he just doesn't know what's going on. And once he sees your video, he'll fix it.
Oh, he's going to change it. Gerasimov, get on this. Hey, have you seen this video? There's Russian kids dying in Ukraine. Can you do something about that? Are you kidding me? They don't give a
Gerasimov's
shit.
In his house in Doha on vacation for a month. He don't give a shit.
This is ridiculous. It's all so absurd. All right, good
Theater of the absurd.
It's all so worthless. All right, good chat. Talk to you on Wednesday.
Traffickers, we want answers.
Oh, yeah.
On the Russian summer offensive and the fall offensive, traffickers.
Where is it?
We want your opinions.
Thoughts?
What's up?
Yes,
what's going on? What's coming down the pipe? We haven't seen anything.
Because honestly, your guess is as good as ours. So send us your guess and we'll talk about it.
So I did hear an article, read an article that I think it was
Yes.
by was it Media Zona? These guys that or Russians do
Medusa?
expert. Well, there's
Medusa?
Media Zona too.
Oh, okay. Sure.
But I'd have to pull the article. But they believe Russian recruitment is down, and that Russian recruitment now is not meeting losses. Right? They kind of got to do 30,000 a month to meet losses, and that they aren't meeting losses. That it's in fact 1/3 of that. They're guessing based on evidence that they got and information and leaks. But they're like, we think the recruiting is down to 1/3 of what it needs to be, and that possibly you're seeing this play out now with the no summer offensive. And where's the fall offensive? If you're running out of troops every month and you just don't have the Schlitz anymore, that could be an explanation for the non-offensive you're seeing.
Yeah.
They don't have the manpower.
Well, I mean, we haven't seen it yet, but we could wake up one morning and they could be amassing 20 brigades right somewhere weird like Zaporizhia. I mean, who knows? I mean, history is the history of surprise. That's what it is. That's what history is.
You're going to get a T-shirt made of that now?
Nope. I didn't make that up. Somebody else did, but it's true. Okay. Hey, if you like the Flash Traffic podcast, will you please just forward it, like, subscribe, thumbs up, leave comments. Do a little bit of stuff.
Expert analysis.
Do a little bit
you never get anywhere else.
All the traffickers.
No one is smart as us.
All the traffickers.
Collectively, we are smarter than everybody.
That's right. None of us is as dumb as all of us. Okay. Good chat. I'll talk to you Wednesday. Bye-bye.
The Flash Traffic Podcast.